So what is mystical recall? And what does it have to do with your spontaneous out-of-body experiences? And who am I to even mention it? Let's talk about that. Greetings, this is Vernita, and welcome to the Mystical Recall podcast here at mysticalrecall.com. So this first episode is an introductory episode to let you know what to expect on this podcast and to really hone in on what mystical recall is really all about. So mystical recall is calling in the various parts of self back into your awareness so you can tap into the power that each part holds and use that power to assist you in your life. Your out-of-body experiences are a natural, organic way of tapping into those parts. And you may think that it's spontaneous because, our human selves is like, we don't even know when it's going to happen. It just comes and, you can feel your body power up and the various different things that happen that lead up to you leaving your body, leaving your physical body. And it's like, well, what's going on? What's happening? And why is this happening right now? And, you're not doing anything to trigger it. So what's up? The thing about it is that your higher self knows what's going on. And that's the part of you that's orchestrating all of this. So your higher self is literally assisting this lower version of yourself with becoming aware of the various parts of self, tapping into those parts and using the insights that you receive from those parts to navigate not just only this physical reality, but all other realities, and use it to assist you in your life in so many different ways. It's not really spontaneous. It is you assisting you. You are literally experiencing something that many people spend a lot of energy in trying to make happen. They try to find some shamans down in South America or some other country, trying to figure out how they can trigger these experiences. A lot of them take the various plant medicines and other things that they do to trigger the experiences. And the thing about it is that those external things are simply not necessary. And you know that because you're having the experiences. So it's not about how do you come out of your body? How do you have an astral travel? How do you astral project? How do you take your consciousness and go into something else and put it into another living thing? How do you travel to multiple dimensions, multiple planes, multiple planets, multiple star systems? How do you do all of that? You're already experiencing it. You just have no control over it. And there's a way of managing it. And you're probably going through a lot of fear right now. You may be very terrified of what's happening to you and have anxiety over it. But I want to assure you that nothing evil is happening, nothing nefarious. This has absolutely nothing to do with devils, demons, low vibrational beings, all of these things. This is a natural, organic part of yourself. You have so many different aspects to you that are now starting to become a part of your awareness, which is a great thing. And I'm going to talk about all of these different things in future episodes. We're going to get into the entities that you may be thinking that is messing with you right now, and they may very well be, but the thing is, there's a way of getting rid of them. They will run away from you. I have a way of doing that, but I want to assure you that in general, what's happening to you is nothing negative at all. And the reason why I wanted to mention the entities and low vibrational beings is because I'm not one of those people in the spiritual community that's going to make everything seem like it's just rainbows, butterflies, and happy, happy, joy, joy, because everything that is positive have a negative aspect, and everything that's negative has a positive aspect. All right. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like when you start awakening to other aspects of self, that there's not going to be other parts of you and other aspects of certain things that's going on that's not negative or what we perceive to be negative. There are entities that are out there that if you stay in a very low vibrational state, if you stay fearful, if you stay angry or mad in general, these things will come, and they come around everybody. Like people who are stuck and like have pity parties, and they basically dwell in a pool of regret. They're mad, they're angry all the time. These non-physical beings come into their space They don't see them though. They don't see them. They don't feel them. They just stay angry. They just stay mad and all of that. But people who are having experiences that are beyond the physical, such as what you're experiencing, you can get to the point of being able to see them when they're around, feeling them when they're around, unlike someone else who cannot. So it's even more important for you to know how to deal with that. Okay? Very important. And like I said, there's a way of dealing with them where they will run away from you. They don't want to be anywhere near you. All right? But I just want to assure you that what's happening to you has absolutely nothing to do with them. Having out-of-body experiences, astral traveling, and your consciousness going into other places, you're going into other realms, all of the various things that you are seeing that you've never seen before, you felt that you never felt before, you're hearing you never heard before. Because a lot of times for myself, for example, I may hear in another dimension. And then if I pay close attention to it and just allow for myself to hear it, I now feel my body go to wherever that place is where the people are talking or someone is talking to me. It's usually someone talking to someone else, but sometimes you may think it's you. There's just so many different things that happens. And I'm going to discuss all of that, all right, on this podcast and future episodes. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. Now, one important point I want to make is that you are not your body, your physical body. You are a soul made up of spirit that permeates this physical body. This body is literally like an advanced piece of technology that you use to navigate this reality. So the soul you is using this physical body to navigate this reality. And these out-of-body experiences you're experiencing, now you get an opportunity to see what it's like to perceive from the soul aspect of you while still occupying or permeating a physical body on this plane. That is profound. It is so profound. It's not something that you want to get rid of, and you're not going to get rid of it anyway. So if you're thinking to yourself, I just want this to stop, man, don't even, just let it be. I'm going to help you process this in a way where you're going to start feeling very comfortable with it, okay? But it's not going to stop, so don't even try to get it to stop, because the more you try to stop it and run away from who you truly are, the more it's going to just hit you. So get comfortable with being who you truly are. And this non-physical aspect of you is the real you, and you're getting to see that now. Now, how do I know all of this? Well, since I was a little girl, I could feel, hear, and see beyond this physical reality. But I grew up in the 80s and 90s. You don't talk about that back then. You know what I mean? You keep that hush-hush to yourself. If I was a little child talking about what I saw and what I heard and what I felt, I would have been on someone's couch somewhere. They probably would have diagnosed me with who knows what and gave me some pills or something that completely was not necessary. But as time went on, because I was very terrified, very scared. It's a long story. I'm not even going to get into it. You can check out my website, go to the About page, and you can read the story there, or download the Mystical View book. It's free. Just download that. And in the back, I have a little synopsis of what I had to go through. But I tried to ignore all of it. There is no ignoring, because many years later in my late 20s, that's when I started having the out-of-body experiences. So prior to that, I was having other things happen, but the out-of-body experiences, that was on a whole other level. And the fear, I shut down. I went through a very deep depression by the time I was in my early 30s. That's when it started happening all the time, spontaneously at night. And I didn't know what was going on. And there was so many different ways in which it was happening. You know, a lot of people talk about astral travel. I was doing more than astral travel. I was in multiple places at the same time. My consciousness was in other people's bodies and on other planes. I was going inside of planets, not just on planets, inside different galaxies. It was wild. It was like a sci-fi / horror movie / fantasy all mixed up together in one, but it was really happening. So I had to figure it out. I'm like, well, what do I need to do? Do I need to go to Tibet and find some type of Tibetan monk on a mountaintop or something like that? You know, I had no idea what to do. And eventually I got to the point where I did figure it out. And it wasn't about figuring it out. It was about facing my fear. And there's ways that I teach people how to face their fears in order to get to the level of being able to communicate with those non-physical beings that can help you through the process. And that is your spirit guides. You've got guardians, and you have friends in other planes from other timelines, other lifetimes. And I'm using the term timelines because it's all happening right now. It's like literally like train tracks. I use time tracks or train tracks and timelines interchangeably. So if you had like 5 different tracks, okay, and they were all, there's trains on them, they're all going in the same direction. What happens on each track and in each train is different. One may go under a tunnel and another one may curve and go this way and go through the countryside, and there's some cows going across. I mean, it's just each track has its own experience. Each train on the track has its own experience on the track and also inside of the train. Yet all of that is you. Okay? You are literally having these experiences simultaneously as the you that you are right now and as other people. We're going to talk about that in other episodes. The point is, what all of these experiences, all the other aspects of yourself have in common is this higher version of yourself that's connected to all of it. And that higher version also connected to even higher versions of you. So you have a higher self and like what I like to call the highest self, your essence. And there's just all these aspects that are connected. And once you understand what's really happening and who you truly are and your origins, not just as a human being, but as a soul, you start getting more and more comfortable with all of this. And also, I want to say that the more that you start emanating love frequency, and I don't mean, just hug everybody and all of that and just say, I love you. No, I mean, love is a very powerful force. And we're going to talk about that. Very, very powerful. It is a protective force. It's a comforting force, and it's a shielding force. And we're going to talk about that later. But the point is, once all of these things started happening as far as me meeting my spirit guides and meeting other friends from other planes and other existences, I started to receive information from them that made me more and more comfortable. Information that assists me in this life and as well as in other lifetimes. Again, they're simultaneous, the other lifetimes with right now in this life. And things started working out. And it actually got to the point where I love when I have these experiences. I love it. And when you have these experiences, it's also important that you fuel your body with the right nutrients so that you don't come back being drained and all these things or having to experience some negative side effects from not preparing yourself properly. Okay. So again, we're going to talk about that. But I've had a very long journey to get to where I am right now with being comfortable with these experiences. And I did not have anyone on this plane, in this reality, to nurture me through the process and help guide and all of that. I basically was thrown to the sharks. You know, it's like taking something and throwing it out there. And then those a bunch of sharks and you got to swim here and swim there to avoid the sharks. It's like you have to figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, what some people have done, unfortunately, is they've allowed for themselves to get so overwhelmed and so fearful that they've committed suicide. And many people have also shut down worse than what I was in, the depression and the shutdown state that I was in. And they stayed there and never came out. And things happened as a result of that. That's not pleasant. And if they only knew who they truly were and allow for themselves to learn how to manage all of it, they will see how beautiful it is to be able to organically have these experiences without having to trigger it with some kind of external thing. Okay. And so one of the reasons why I've committed myself to not only having this podcast, but working with people who have spontaneous out-of-body experiences and want to manage it with comfort and ease, even if they feel gripped by fear and anxiety, I'm helping them through that as well. The reason is because not only have I been through it, But it does something to me to know that people are literally committing suicide over this. That a lot of times people leave this world and other folks will be like, oh, they should have talked to somebody. And who do you talk to about stuff like this? What do you do? Who do you go to? Especially if you are over 40, that means you grew up during the times that I grew up. And back in the day, there was nobody to go to about this. You're an adult now. How do you deal with it? See, the children that's coming into the world today, they're cool. They're fine. They got it. Because their parents that are Gen X, millennials and younger, are more open-minded than the baby boomers and older. And so when people like us, and I'm young Gen X, came into the world and we're experiencing these type of things the children today are experiencing, we had nobody. And so we became adults that became fearful of things. And you may not have dealt with anything as a child. It may not have started until you got older. And so now you're like, well, what do I do? And so I'm here for people like you. It's so important to me that we understand the truth of ourselves. So there's a lot to get into. There's so much I want to share with you. So I'm going to have a podcast episode released every single week. So make sure you check it out. Again, here at mysticalrecall.com, also on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts, I'm going to be there. All right. And also make sure you check out the Mystical View book. The primer is going to really prime you for the information that I'm sharing and give you an understanding of life from the soul's perspective. And also, I share information about our origins. I don't get real deep into it, but it's a nice overview, like a fundamental learning of things before I get really deep. And it's free. You just go to themysticalview.com, just click the button. It opens up, download it, check it out, and allow for it to give you insights that you may not have known before and trigger memories. Because a lot of times when we read things in this reality, we're literally triggering our memories. So if you feel led to do so, go check it out and enjoy. See you next week.